A childish and irresistible reason to get the Scorpio in is to be a bully. The simple pleasure of seeing the chaos of traffic, trucks and buses just part way to reveal a calm way ahead is addictive. There are other better reasons to get the Scorpio in. This big brute of an SUV has a caring side to it. It cocoons you. It cushions you. It's quick, it's easy and efficient. Sounds like the template for the modern-day ladder frame SUV, except there's one big problem: the bouncy suspension. This SUV then is not for everyone and everything, but if you still want one, we may have a quick and easy fix for you. Everything and everyone will feel a complex in the company of the Scorpio N because of its size and personality. Luxury SUVs included its old rival, the Safari, feels metrosexual in comparison. Its own sibling, the XUV 700, feels cute. In comparison, the Scorpio N's trump card is its size. It's big, and well, big. It's not as tall as the old Scorpio, but in every other dimension it has grown larger, making it look better. It's also grown as a personality. It's more mature. It would fit right in the parking lot of some glitzy office now. Also in this shade of white, it looks classy. So when you need a Scorpio to put that Serpent sticker on the rear windscreen, this will feel too dame, and that's a good thing. The rear, though, isn't a good thing. It feels tall, awkward and slabby, like a blown-up wagger. Your ego will also get blown up sitting high up in the Scorpio, and it's like God mode. Reus disappear. Hatchbacks seem insignificant, and SUVs start to look like hatchbacks. You might be sitting at truck height, but the cabin is car-like. It feels modern and premium, with black and leather interiors, soft touch materials. It's well equipped with a power driver's seat, dual-zone air conditioning, many inches of screens. You have a great-sounding music system from Sony and cruise control tool. It's all good in the front seats, and it's gotten much better in the back seat. It's spacious now and comfortable, so it's a better family car. You also get a third row of seats that are facing the right way forward, but it's not a better seven-seater. The third row is not for adults. It's too cramped. You sit too low. The floor is uneven, and even children will complain. There's just a phone holder and cabin lights. There are no wind or charging pools there. The third row gets in the way of the Scorpio N. Even being a good five-seater, it just sits there taking up space. It takes cheap thrills in getting in your way. Why has Mahindra not introduced a five-seater variant of the Scorpio N yet? Is beyond me. Other practical misses can be explained. Yes, you do have to step up into the cabin. Not very convenient, but it is tall and high off the ground. I can't explain why the middle road doesn't slide, or why it doesn't get a 360 degrees camera and a dash deck, both of which are available with the XUV 700. Just like the XUV 700, the Scorpio N also misses out on ventilated seats and an auto day night. Strange. Thankfully, there isn't a big difference in plastic quality. There are some cheap-looking bits on the center console and some shiny bits as well, but on the whole it feels well put together. I never imagined having to use Scorpio and library in the same sentence, but that's how calm and quiet the cabin of the Scorpio N is. Its library, like it lets you sink into your thoughts. Make no mistake, this is the quietest and smoothest Mahindra around. This brute is better than the car-like XUV 700 on this front. Passing vehicles seem further away. The suspension is quiet as it slams through bowls, and the diesel engine feels distant. The diesel engine is impressive. It's Mr. Smooth in the way it feels, and in the way it drives. It doesn't have as much power as the 700, so it's not frisky, but it's right for this kind of car. It's quick and fast enough. The 6-speed automatic works the same way. Quite simply, it is easy and unstressed whether you're going slow or fast. Incredibly, on the highway, the Scorpio N's fuel efficiency is nearly as good as the XUV 700's, managing 15 to 18 kmpl in the city. That gap is wider. You'll get 10 to 13 kilometers, and the figure will go lower with the automatic. The diesel is also available with the 4x4 hardware, which is derived from the TAR, so it's not going to stop you from having adventures off-road. Instead, your first line of worry will be the size and the weight of the Scorpio. Also, free advice: if you want to get a petrol Mahindra, get the Scorpio, and not because it has a few more horsepower than the 700, but because its rear wheel drive outside of a drag strip. This will put down its power better on steep roads, on slippery roads, and even around twisty roads. Sure, it will be thirsty, but it will be really quick and really smooth. A conversation involving fast ladder frame SUV, especially Scorpio, is usually followed by "why no" and "holy crap" with the Scorpio in the conversation has changed. On expressways, this won't run around like some drunk rhino around corners. It won't roll over and die. It's surprising, but this does feel controlled at speed when you realize that you drive faster, which is a bit like driving a racing truck. You know it really shouldn't, and you really shouldn't, but it's fun because of that. This tall and heavy Scorpio's good behavior around corners can be credited to Mr. What's, if you know what I'm talking about. Hit us up in the comments. The weight though doesn't disappear. The brakes are strong, but you shouldn't leave the braking for later. This is better behaved than expected, but it's not a sporty SUV either, so the Scorpio N has got its roll under control. It's not the poster child of ladder frame SUV. Still, because it's still got too much bounce in its step, the comfort takes a big hit with the strangeness of the suspension. It is strange, ironically, this big brute of an SUV feels its best and most majestic on the smoothest of tarmac. It feels almost as good over terrible roads. The real problem is the in-between, where the roads aren't smooth, where they're broken or bumpy or bold. It never settles over them, so much so even going over speed breakers, hatchbacks will be faster because you will be trying to avoid the bounce. If you don't, those in the second row, and God bless those in the third row, they will need steel inner years to avoid feeling sick. One way to deal with this is to drive slowly, but then what's the point of a big, powerful, true blue SUV, especially when Ford could, as it with the Endeavor, when Toyota manages to get by with the Fortuner? Why Mahindra? I hate stories that end with if only. This one does. If only the suspension was sorted, then the Scorpio N would have been the champion of LADF frame SUVs in the modern world, showing that they don't have to go the way of the dinosaur. They can evolve, be efficient, comfortable, and convenient. Sure, even if it were fixed, it wouldn't be as good as 7-seater or as convenient as the XUV 700, but its mega personality, its sense of calm are a choice, one that you should be glad for, which is why Mahindra needs to fix this. Until then, if you plan to choose a Scorpio N, ask yourself real hard, can you and your family stomach it? If you are unsure, our quick and easy solution for some of you is